I'm April Pettyjohn, and this is Follow the Leader Homeschool Education. Hey everybody, welcome back to Follow the Leader Homeschool Education. This is episode 21, and I am here with my great friend, Lindsey Hill, and we are just right here at the beginning of school starting. It's back to school time, and one of our very favorite seasons, which also for you, that means fall weather, winter weather is right around the corner.
I'm so excited.
And we are anticipating that because right now we're actually recording at almost the beginning of August. So it is steamy right now, but we know that that is in the future.
Pumpkin spice, here I come.
I know that is your favorite. And I also know that opposites attract because I am an all summer girl and you are an all winter girl.
Yeah,
and
let's do cold.
You're my girl. So it works. All right. Well, let's jump right in. So you brought a coffee mug from home today. So why don't you tell us what you brought?
Well, to know me is to know that I love Pride and Prejudice. So I had to bring one of my many, many Jane Austen mugs. But I brought this one because it was a gift from a student and because it is scorching lava hot out there. It says, I'd rather be at Pemberley. And right now, I'd rather be anywhere than on the surface of the sun, which is home right now.
So hot.
So I would love to be at the Darcy Estate, walking amongst the ancient trees and enjoying the cool British weather.
Wouldn't it be nice? Oh, same. Take me with you. That
For sure.
Awesome. I do love summer, but man, I'm almost over it.
This part is not as much fun.
Dog days for real. Okay, so you've been homeschooling for a minute.
Approximately, let's see, Caitlin is 20, so 16 years,
Wow.
I would say.
Wow. That's
when we
incredible.
started.
So do you have like an overarching a Bible verse, a mission statement, something that's really guided you those 16 years?
Well, if I were to sum it up in a word, I would say relationship is primary. Relationship with God, relationship with your children, relationship amongst your children with each other is the most important thing. And my life verse, as it were, is Romans 12, 1 and 2 about offering yourself as a living sacrifice to God. Because in relationship, it takes effort. Yeah. And we've heard the adage, the problem with a living sacrifice is that we like to crawl off the altar.
Right.
And as moms homeschooling our children with them all day long, there are times when it can be discouraging to offer ourselves yet again to be the defender of justice and the dispenser of the snacks and things like that. But if we're keeping relationship as the primary goal, that really helps keep me focused.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so good. And then keeping our relationship with the Lord at the center of all that, that's what really keeps the wheels turning. I mean, that's essential.
You can't keep going year after year if you're living on fumes, if you're just making it to church on Sunday. That's not going to be enough to sustain you.
Absolutely. And I do want to get into more of that with you later because I feel like you just have such great wisdom on all of that. But since you brought up relationships, I really want to talk about how you and I kind of first connected because you were one of my first mentors, influences when we first decided to start homeschooling. I was coming from a public school background where I was teaching first grade and I loved all the color coding and all the labels and all the pretty, beautiful things. And I still love that. And so I actually was having this thought the other day. I was out mowing the yard, which is one of my very favorite things because it's pretty mindless, but it's very satisfying because you're accomplishing a goal.
And also lots of time to think.
Yes, all the thinking time. I know, I love it so much. So, but I mean, as you look around, I still have all the labels and all the organizing because I enjoy it. And so actually, as I was mowing, I was thinking I wanted to offer this to some of our viewers and listeners. If that is who you are in your core and you really truly enjoy doing the extra things and it brings you life, it doesn't feel like a piling on of extra, you should do that.
Yes.
If it brings you life and you enjoy it, you should do it. And we're not going to judge you the other moms who like it. In the same way, we're not going to judge you the other moms who have their piles because guess what? They know where all the things are in their piles. And
you're my
okay.
people. You can be piles.
Right. And that's okay. So we're all in this together and it's going to look different. But I think to an extent, sometimes we swing the other way and we're like, oh, look at her throwing her perfect birthday parties and look at her with all of her labels and her binders. But if that's bringing her life and it's not causing stress, that's okay. All right, that was my tangent. However,
it's good. We can be the Pinterest mom because we think we have to, and that's the expectation. But you're right. It's the thing that feeds you.
Yes.
Is super important.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, you have to find that thing that helps you keep going.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
that brings you life.
Yeah, if that's bringing you joy, that's okay. So, anyways, aside, but when I first met you, you came over because I was feeling we had made this decision to homeschool, but I was at that precipice where I was like, okay, we made the choice, but I don't know if it was right. And I don't really know where to start. And I'm feeling very overwhelmed. And I have all the things, but I don't know what it's going to look like on a day-to-day basis. And so I remember very vividly just sitting in the basement, had my little school space. I had my ABC chart up around the wall. And I'm like,
it's beautiful.
Just, I'm so like precious. Offering this to you. Like, is this good? Like, I just wanted that affirmation from you. Like, did I do a good job? And you were so kind and, just very gracious with me. But I was like wanting you to tell me like, yeah, you're going to do great. Like, this is all you need. You just need a color-coded binder. It's going to be great. And that's not what you said. And that was true. And you had this beautiful blend of truth and love, which is what the Bible calls us to. But I know there are so many moms out there that are just getting started. So can you kind of relive with them what you offered me?
Well, I think this is the question of all of our hearts, especially when we're starting something new, is I have this call that God has placed on my life. But practically, what does it look like? Mm-hmm. We can sit in a sermon and be really inspired and say, but what am I going to do Monday through Friday? Right. What is this going to look like? So you had that educational background and experience, which I came from that too, except I was an elementary teacher. High school, and why I function well in piles, because I'm just new batch of kids every 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Pile. But I know that mindset. And so we can fall into the trap of doing what has been done and what we're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And as someone in education, we can try to create what has been done in the institutional school at home. Mm-hmm. And what I told you, what I tell any new mom, no matter when they're starting homeschooling, is that we are not doing school at home. We are homeschooling. And that word home is actually first for a reason, because the home has to be the center. It is those relationships. And we have to realize that we are not just the teacher, but also the nurse and the cafeteria worker and the custodian and the principal's wife and all of those things. And so there has to be a rhythm and a routine, but the schedule, especially the really pretty laminated color-coded ones, we can start that. And by day 2 or 3, mm-hmm. if the kids aren't up exactly on time and we're not starting math at 8:30 and have the breakfast dishes already cleared, we can start to feel really defeated.
So true.
We have to do it all when we're at home. Mm-hmm. And so we have to prioritize what are the things that need to be done and what does that look like. Mm-hmm. We can start with math, but don't attach it to a set time, and have grace for yourself in different seasons. Mm-hmm. You still had really little people, and when the toddler's destroying things in the background and you're trying to do a math lesson, that can very quickly spiral out of control if you're bringing that mindset of, I have to do this in this time. It has to be very orderly and structured. Again, have routine, but don't be so set on making it look like the school day that you really beat yourself up.
Right.
by not having grace for yourself.
And then my feeling of failure inadvertently spills over to the child, which really just destroys the purpose of relationship, which is where you started.
We can get frustrated with what we are doing or not doing, and it absolutely is going to spill out onto the kids. And so in our family, I have all girls, and so we affectionately call our school the Hill Academy for Girls. And probably our favorite thing when we're having a just yucky day, if our attitudes are off or the math isn't mathing or whatever it is, we call cuddle school. And that is, we just get on the bed, we pull out a bunch of books, and we just read and eat snacks. Yeah. And even though I have adult kids, high schoolers, they'll still say, can we just have cuddle school? Or remember when we did that? Yeah. And that is the key to home education with relationship. Step back and think, Mama, in 10 years, when that toddler is 14 or 15, are they going to remember that they finished the math book? Are they going to remember all of the worksheets that they did? Or are they going to remember things like cuddle school? Are they going to remember the nature walks? Are they going to remember that you always had waffles on Wednesday, or whatever it is that is a bright spot in their memory? Those are the things that they come back and recall. So the performance of accomplishing that, getting to the end of the book, can drive us, but it's the intangible things that really make a difference.
That's so good. Yeah. Yeah, that's so good. Oh, I'm going to sit with that for just a second. And because it looks so different family to family, that worked for you guys. And part of the reason it worked for you is because, like you said, you have all girls. And I don't want to camp on that too much, but it looks way different. I have 2 boys, and one of them was super high energy levels. And so for us, I think one of the things that Noah's probably going to remember most is those taskmasters that we have, which when the task is complete, then you get a fun activity. And a lot of times that fun activity is taking 3 laps around the house, and I'm going to time you to see which one was the fastest.
Right.
He loves things like that.
Yeah.
And that's super fun. So do you think maybe we could jump into that a little bit and talk about how it might look different family to family, boys versus girls?
Absolutely.
Because you, when we talked about our conversation today, you had mentioned how girls tend to be more emotionally competitive, boys tend to be more physically competitive. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I don't have boys, but I see that, yes, there is definitely physical competition. And I think you do have to know both the needs of your child. You need to know the stage that they're in, what is developmentally appropriate for them, and things like that. I can imagine that a house full of boys, the thought of doing cuddle school is probably just not going to fly. They're like, they would hate that. They're like, everybody sit still. Like, no, thank you. That would actually drive mom crazy too.
Might last for like 30 seconds.
Right. So you definitely have to know what works. And I think this is a key that I keep coming back to, but what works for you as a mom, because then you have the full cup to pour from. So you know that your boys need activity, and you can come up with a fun way for them to express that need for both activity and competition. And that can give you like that little mental break too while they're racing around the house. I know that you are very artistic and crafty, and I had to come to the place where I realized those kinds of things don't feed me. Yeah. I will have all the craft supplies in the world because my girls will naturally gravitate toward that and sit and draw pictures and things. But I had to realize that I'm not going to come up with the crafts that correspond with our learning activities, because it brought more guilt and frustration for me than joy. So what is it that fits with your family and
Right.
fits with you.
But you can still make it available for them.
Yes. I'm not never going to sit down and draw a picture with them.
Right.
I just know that my energy is better served in picking out books, for example, that go with our whatever we're learning versus coming up with the craft things.
Yeah.
And I think those things are beautiful, not in any way knocking them, because they do feed people. And I don't even mind mess. I'm very comfortable with mess. So it was hard for me to come up with.
Right.
And I, when you feel sort of that tense feeling in your chest, like I feel guilt that I have to do this, but it's not bringing life, then don't spend your energy doing that.
Yeah. Or look for a different way to approach it, even because it is interesting because you say it comes naturally for me, and it does, but then I have this controllingness about me. So like when we sit down to do an art project, it can very quickly become, here, just let me do that for you. Because I'm like, oh, that looks terrible. Like, let me show you the right way to do this. And so we've even started, like, we're going to watch like maybe a biography on a famous artist, and then we're just all going to sit down and do it together. It feels like it kind of like evens the playing field, because it's like, I'm not going to paint like Van Gogh either. So we're just all going to try it together at the same time. And then nobody's like the shining star. So that has been helpful. And then as far as like the whole competitiveness, I have noticed I am trying to be more intentional about not pitting the boys against each other when it comes to competitiveness. I am so with you on the relational side of things, and we try to be very intentional about the verbiage that we use. We like to have them say, "You're my best friend." Like that's one of the phrases we use with them all the time, even when they don't want to. You're my best friend, through gritted teeth. You're my best friend.
I really love you.
Yes, exactly. And so even instead of like, hey, let's see who can do this faster, or it's, hey, why don't you try to beat your own time? Oh, okay, you did it in 1 minute and 34 seconds. Can you try to do it in 1 minute and 30 seconds this time? So they're not going against each other, but they're just trying to better themselves. That's been really beneficial.
We tell the girls all the time that they are each other's forever friends, because your life changes. You might move. The friends that you have now, you may not have in 5 years, and there's different seasons. So we say, but your sisters are going to be your friends always. They have memories of you when you're small. They have the keeper of the memories of your parents and things like that. You will always have each other. Yeah. So that's really important to cultivate those relationships while they're in the home. And as homeschooling moms, we offer a really great opportunity to do that, because we are in the home with them for more hours, and we can do activities together. We can have touch points. In our family now with older kids, we have instituted a family dinner. So every Tuesday night we have that, and girls in college are able to invite their friends over. We're hoping, that there will be some boyfriends, and, my son-in-law comes now with my married daughter. Pretty soon we'll have our grandson there. And so we see this as being a touch point for those that are close to continue coming back. It's a way to help us know what is going on in their lives, meet their friends, meet their important people. And so again, as seasons change and your family dynamic changes, it's important to think of ways of cultivating relationship a little bit differently. My girls are older. They're not racing each other around the house, but I still have to be intentional about developing relationships as they're getting driver's license and going in different directions. What can we do to support their relationship with each other?
So good. Okay, that is so good. Talking about like pouring into your girls, investing in their relationships, making sure that they're investing into relationships. But it makes me question, like, how are you invested into your relationship with other moms and mom culture? I know that's something that's really strong in your heart, something you're passionate about. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, one of the reasons that we were able to even meet the first time is because people were investing in me when I was a young mom, and I started homeschooling when I was pregnant with my youngest, who's now going into high school. And I had those same questions. I wanted to know, what does this look like on a daily basis? How can I achieve this at home? And I was so thankful both that I was in community and in a mature community that had some Titus 2 women to come alongside me. And now I'm realizing, as an almost grandma, I'm a Titus 2 woman, and I can encourage other moms and say, I know what it's like balancing all of these things. And I can tell you that you can do it. It's worth it. And just take a deep breath and slow down your roll, mama, because our culture tries to tell us that we should do it all. And as a homeschooling mom, we can often feel like we have something to prove. And so we want to do it well. We want to do it well so badly for our kids and for the outside world who's questioning us if our children are going to be socialized and how are they going to do in college and things like that. And then if we're honest with ourselves, late at night, we're worried that they're not learning enough, or maybe they're not playing very nice with their same age friends. So we have to take the long view of it. And we have to realize that on if we just look at a day, just a snapshot, we're not going to be batting 1,000.
Right.
We are not going to be all of the things every day. Yeah. But if we do a little bit every day, the accumulative effect is really beautiful. It's almost like compounding interest in economics, where a little bit of the investment every day helps us to have the strength to continue on. And so both being invested in and investing in others, people, relationships face to face is very important. I also want to encourage moms to cultivate their love of learning themselves. I love reading. I love learning. I love school. That's why I became a teacher in the first place. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to homeschool, is I knew I wanted to develop that in my children. I felt that I would have a better opportunity to do that than in an institutional school where it's more performance based. So I know that for myself, I want to have conversation with people, and I also want to have things to have conversation about. So challenge yourself to read, and even read beyond what's on the phone, because that's really easy to do. Just get your daily dose of Facebook or Instagram, but have a book that you're reading and have another mom that you can discuss that with, because that really enriches it when you can go beyond just the trials of potty training or trying to teach your child to read, or how do I turn this frozen block of meat into dinner? We can look at something bigger, something deeper, something that inspires us. And a great place to start, that I tell any homeschool mom, no matter how many years you've been homeschooling, go with Teaching with Rest by Sarah Mackenzie. It is short. It is beautiful. It will inspire you. I try to reread it before the start of every school year, because it just sort of recalibrates my thinking. But if there is a great classic novel that you haven't ever tackled, and you can have someone read it with you, or even a little book club that keeps you accountable, those kinds of things can really inspire you, because you realize this is a rich world. I have a lot of things I can offer my kids. And there's a deep well of knowledge, both in scripture and in the world that God has inspired through literature and art and culture and philosophy. So I encourage, even if it's a few minutes a day, it's a page. It can be a small investment on a daily basis that can inspire you.
Yeah. And you're right. It adds up. You'll look back and say, wow, look how far I've come. Look how much I gained. And it's really important for your kids to see that the beginning of their education doesn't need to mean the end of yours.
Yes.
So, wow, that was so good. And we're going to hit more of that on our next episode. Let's come back and tackle some more of that topic. We're also going to talk about Lindsey's opinion on a biblical worldview when it comes to education. I can't wait to chat with you more. So make sure you come back. You're not going to want to miss it. And until then, happy learning. This episode of Follow the Leader Homeschool Education is brought to you by Command Family Medicine. Command Family Medicine is part of a cutting-edge movement called Direct Primary Care. They deal directly with their patients to help individuals and families take command of their health through increased access and affordable and transparent cost of care. With locations in Springfield and Branson, Command is serving the Ozarks. It is also brought to you by Nathan Keene with Alpha Realty. Nathan is excited to help you find your perfect home. He'll make the real estate process fun, stress-free, and focused on your goals. Whether you're buying or selling, he will guide you every step of the way. He will work to make your dreams a reality. You can find links to Nathan Keene Realty and Command Family Medicine in the show notes.